Okay, so here's another little short progress report. As you can see, this hole is really ground down pretty significantly. That's what I used at this 4.5-inch grinder, and that tool has been the bomb. I'll tell you, from Harbor Freight, I've ground down this whole boat, and it's taken like a lot of hours of grinding, and that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do a little bit more grinding, and you know, I just ground off all the old adhesive and took it right down to the fiberglass. Alright, just took it right down to the fiberglass, all the way up and down. I got up in the nose, up in the bow was the most difficult part because it's just close quarters, that's all. It's hot. I left the stringer in there for now. That's coming out, but I left it in there because I took all of the rest. I took the flooring out, and the floor. I left a little bit of floor in there for something to lay on for a little while, but the floor goes from here to here. Okay, it's going to go from here to here, so it spans that stringer. Well, I found out one of the reasons the floor was so sagged, other than it just being old, was the stringer was not on the same plane as the bottom of the floor. So the floor actually, the stringer was below the floor. It didn't actually support the floor. The floor just spanned over it. So I'm going to fix that. I'm still debating whether or not to put a secondary stringer here and here. I think I'm going to do it, but I'm not going to put any bulkheads in. I'm just going to shore up the floor a little bit. I'm going to make sure that the stringers are level from here to here with the bottom of the floor that's going to go over it. Okay, but once I pop the floor out, I wanted to keep this stringer in until I finish the transom, because I want, even though that stringer is probably not doing anything, I mean, it really is just, the wood is just done. I want to use whatever structural integrity that's given me. I want to keep that until I'm done with the transom. Okay, and then, you know, so I ground down everything right up to the stringer. That way I could just cut it out. I don't think it's going to be a big deal at all to cut out of there. And so once I'm done with the transom, as I said before, I'm going to start moving forward with the wood structure. I think this idea right here with the half stringers, I actually left the half stringers in, just a little portion of them. As you can see, I left those half stringers in there, and they're really stiff too. That is going to act as kind of like a jig to hold my new half stringers. You know, instead of me worrying about, you know, getting the measurements right when I put the new half stringers in for the motor, this and the hole here, this whole relationship should not change. So I'm figuring if I have this here, I could just slide the new stringer in. I'm gonna pack it with I'm gonna press thickened epoxy after I clean out the inside somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet, but I'm just gonna have thickened epoxy in there, and then after I put the stringers in, you know, I'm going to build up the fiberglass to the same thickness as this half stringer piece. And those two little sections, I just made them a little bit bigger than my motor mounts were on here. I might even cut them down a little bit more. These two sections are going to hold my half stringer right where it needs to be, and that way when I go to drop the motor in, everything should line up exactly the way it was before. I don't even have to worry about it. So like I said, all the grinding was the biggest challenge, just getting it down to the fiberglass. Lots of dust. I mean, you're going to be dressed up like a, you know, you're going to look like you're doing hazmat, but full head to toe covering and a mask. And you know, so I still have a little bit more grinding to do. I got to do back here. I got to get underneath the seat here a little bit. You know, I got to get this ridge off of here. You know, all this, and clean it up. And this isn't all totally critical, but the floor is going to go right back into here and probably tie into the transom right there. There's going to be two gaps. There's going to be a drainage hole that I need here through the stringer, and there's actually going to be another drainage hole above the floor line, so no water sits over the stringer. And you'll see what I mean when I get all this together. So that's it. That's it for now.